Mr. Night Spider here, and I think this image kind of encapsulates everything going on with Sony. It's very cold. It looks like a courtroom. Kind of reminds me of like any villains you've seen in some some corporate villains you see in movies. That's what this background reminds me of, and it kind of is a good example of everything going on here in the here and now, with Sony eliminating physical disc. Back in 22 is the time I decided to cancel my PlayStation Plus subscription. If I recall correctly, I just kind of let it expire and didn't activate a card or let it automatically renew from my credit card on file. But I was at a point in my life where I wasn't playing many online games. I have a family, I have 3 kids. So something I learned was, as I got older, that I couldn't carve out a specific time of the day to play online with my friends and what have you. And a lot of times I would end up when you have young kids, babies, I'd end up kind of bailing mid-match and be like, sorry guys, I have to go. And slowly but surely my online gaming with PlayStation faded to the point where I was just playing single player games when I can. Granted, I love single player games. I prefer that anyway, but the need for PlayStation Plus expired for me. I grew up in the 90s. I had a PS1, PS2, PS3, and I would say I am part of that enthusiast crowd. Dare I say, a fan. But I would say my first frustration with PlayStation was when I canceled that subscription. And being like, I never thought much about it, but every month they give you games, right? You get free games as part of the membership, and you have access to download and play those games anytime you like. But once that subscription is canceled, you lose access to all those games. And I felt like such a dummy, because there's been so many times where I've had Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain stands out, where I purchased that game. I traded in a bunch of some hardware, some old games, and I got that game and some other game. And then when I got it on PlayStation Plus, I traded it in. And after I canceled that subscription in 2022, I'm like, man, I can't access this game anymore. So I had to buy the game again. And that happened multiple times with games that happened with many games that I never thought about, because I never imagined the world at the time where I'd be like, well, why wouldn't I be subscribed to PlayStation Plus? And 5 years later, not subscribed, and all the games that I wanted to have access to, I rebought. I have physical copies, maybe a few digital, but mostly physical. And that's the first time I really felt burned by Sony, right? Because they tell you get free games with PlayStation Plus. These games are free, but they're not free. Those games are part of the membership. And if you don't have the membership, you don't have those games. Fast forward now, 2026. They announced that they're going to be killing physical games in beginning of 2028. The cost of the console has gone up. I really wanted to get a PlayStation 5 Pro, but it's $899 now. It started at $699, $200 more. And I'm willing to bet that they're going to increase the price again. I feel burned as a customer, as a longtime PlayStation fan, if you will. I have 2 PlayStation 5s, one in the living room for my kids, and then one in my man cave area. I have both disc versions, and I have a significant library of PlayStation 4 and 5 games. Physical. It's one of those tall, shelves. I strongly feel with the current state of technology and how powerful, capable even the PlayStation 5 is, like many others, I feel that this is going to be the last PlayStation for me. I don't see any value in purchasing a PlayStation 6, which is rumored to be going to be over $1,000 and without a disc drive. There's no value in that. They have lost me. They have tried and tried and tried and tried to milk their consumers. They're such an arrogant company. I mean, again, look at this background. This is how they view you as a customer. We're going to get on our podium. We're going to tell you what's going on, and you're going to accept it. Keep in mind, they haven't had too many bangers. They haven't had a bunch of great first-party games in many cycles. Maybe when they first launched, the one I could think about is Ragnarok, and I think it's one called Tharos or something. I'm not into those type of games, but they're letting down their customers, and they think that you're just going to just take it. I've done my own little. I have kids, so I see kind of that generation of gaming. My kids will play. At one point, they're playing Roblox. At one point, they're playing Fortnite at some point, and another time, and they're currently now in Minecraft. The generation of kids that are growing up playing games, they don't care about the hardware. They're not excited about a brand to play games. They only want to play their forever games on any device they can play on. And rest assured, they can play on many devices, from your phone to a tablet to a computer to a laptop. The games they play are scalable. They don't need the most realistic, photorealistic graphics. And all the kids care about is something they can play forever, that's free access, and has many options for gameplay. That, I understand that's kind of the service model of what Sony's going after. And maybe you do have a huge install base of people buying consoles. But the huge install base are people like me, right? Not only do I choose to buy it for myself, but I choose to buy it for my children. If I choose not to buy a PlayStation or have a PlayStation set up for them, they will play their very same games elsewhere without a hitch. No emotional lapse or feelings about it. They don't care. And I think that's what Sony is lacking to understand. Nobody needs you, Sony. This PlayStation thing is entertainment. The next generation of kids, they don't care about gaming consoles or get excited about hardware. They can play the games they like everywhere else. I also have a pretty capable PC. i7 4070 RTX, 32 gigs of RAM. I have like 5 different hard drives in there. I could play everything I needed to play at a much higher fidelity and frame rate than the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro. And that's not even like the most expensive hardware you can get. And I recently, just going through Facebook Market, was able to get some parts here and there, $40 here, $10 here, $40 there, and put together a PC for my son that plays all the games that he wants to play. Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox if you wanted. All that stuff. And there's many options. There's the Steam launcher, there's a GOG launcher, there's an Epic launcher, there's the I think Ubisoft had a launcher, EA had a launcher. There's so many other launchers where you can get your games. Sure, you won't have the PlayStation first-party stuff, but those are like cinematic, like movie experiences that you play through. All the other games are there. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents on the situation. I guess if I were to recap, Sony has slowly made PlayStation Plus unaffordable after taking away free online access after the PlayStation 3 era. They have then added multiple tiers to their PlayStation Plus, which I don't see any value in that, because when there's a game I enjoy or I really like, I want to own it. I want to have access to it anytime I want, not rely on a subscription. They have made the hardware way more expensive than it needs to be. I understand there's a lot of political stuff going on, and the whole AI thing is causing prices to increase. But in the past, game companies would take a hit to get their console out there and then make their money back and more with the software. Which reminds me, Sony has also raised prices on video games to $70. I'm sure there's an $80 one around the corner, as well as increased the prices on accessories and controllers. Again, anti-consumer. You are not the only game in town. My generation that care about consoles, that care about hardware, we have lost our patience. We're the ones with disposable income. We're the ones buying PlayStation or the membership for our kids if they want it. That's going to stop with us, and you'll see what happens. You will fail. People are already building PCs. I have a bunch of parts right here for more PCs I plan on putting together for my family, so they could do whatever not only can they game, they can do productivity on there, they could do school, they can do entertainment, they can do a whole plethora of things on their PC. You're going to lose, Sony. You have taken away digital movies people have purchased because you won't renew the license. You have removed games as well. There's games that have been taken down with, again, licensing reasons. You don't hold up your end. Like, consumers don't feel safe on your platform. I don't. I utilize what I currently have, but I don't plan on investing more into the PlayStation ecosystem. So those are my thoughts. I know there's a lot of opinions out there, but I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there with the whole Sony debacle and them killing physical media. And it kind of gets to the root cause. It's not necessarily the fact that they're killing discs, because I also have a lot of digital purchases on my Steam library, Xbox, Switch, etc. But it's the rights that we need to have to protect us with those purchases. You shouldn't be able to just take stuff out of our library. We're not you work for us, not the other way around. You make it like all these fans of PlayStation work for you, and we have to pony up the dough. Again, look at this background right here. Well, let me get my finger. Look at this background right here. They look like the Legion of Doom over here, sitting in the front, sitting over here. They don't care about you. They're cold. Look how cold it is. And this isn't even for the customers. This is for the shareholders. What a shame. Sony will either, they're going to crash and burn, or they'll come crawling back, trying to mend what they broke. Anyway, these are some of my thoughts. This is it's been a while since I did a video like this, so it's a pleasure. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this is Mr. Night Spider signing out. Deuces.